Hey, thanks for dropping by. This is a series discussing the producers and DJs that made happy hardcore what it is now. Today I'm going to talk about a man who spent over 25 years of his life as a major part of the happy hardcore scene, and it all started in Essex, England. I've been learning a bit about Darren Styles, world-renowned DJ, music producer, label boss, and from what I read on a few Reddit posts, a pretty decent guy too. I'm Stuart, and I'd love it if you could stick around for the next 10 minutes or so and I can share with you what I've learned. If you haven't already, please click the like button, that way you don't have to remember at the end. And if you click subscribe along with the notification bell, I can let you know when the next episode drops. Let me know in the comments who we should do next, and while you're doing all of that, let me get into this. Darren James Mew, or Darren Styles as you may know him, is a world-renowned DJ with a particular taste for the harder styles. Born in 1975 and from Colchester in England, Darren started his journey in 1993 as a member of the group DJ Force and the Evolution, releasing breakbeat hardcore, a music genre spawned out of the UK rave scene in the very early 90s. Encouraged by his dad to play music from a very early age, Darren always had a passion for music and spent many nights mastering his abilities on the keyboard, developing his own style inspired by dance music. His first hands-on experience of the underground rave scene came on Clacton Pier at Oscar's nightclub, leading him to become a massive part of the dance music community. With Paul Hobbs, James Broomfield and Paul Hughes, Styles was signed as DJ Force in the Evolution to Night Force Records and made unforgettable piano tunes such as Fall Down on Me, Perfect Dreams and High on Life at Lunacy Studio. Under the alias A Sense of Summer, the four also released music in the mid-90s on DJ Slipmatt's label Universal Recordings. On Top, Around the World and Easing On brought further success to the group before Darren with Paul Hobbs formed Force and Styles, a major act in the early happy hardcore scene. By late 92, the breakbeat hardcore rave scene was starting to split into a number of different breakbeat based genres, including hardcore jungle and happy hardcore, full of piano rolls and uplifting vocals. That's where we find Darren, and a new sound emerging out of the UK breakbeat hardcore rave scene and the Belgium, German and Dutch hardcore techno scenes. Happy hardcore really started to gain traction and popularity, and Force and Styles in '95 decided to set up their own label so they could quickly release new music and have complete artistic license over their records. This label was called UK Dance, and it's now managed by Kevin Instinct and releases music to this day. Anyway, let's get back to 1996 and Force and Styles. By this time the pair's popularity had soared, and they were DJing every weekend up and down the UK, as well as touring Australia, North America and Ibiza on a regular basis. The two also held residencies for various events for Slamming Vinyl, Helter Skelter and United Dance. They had produced some of the biggest happy hardcore tracks of all time by 1997, including Heart of Gold, Pretty Green Eyes and Field of Dreams. Force and Styles racked up many awards in this time, including Best Producers, Best Live PA, Rookie DJs of the Year and Best Record Label at the 1997 Hardcore Heaven Awards, with Styles himself picking up the Best Visiting DJ award on the same night. They won Best Hardcore Record at the 1997 Kiss FM Awards and Best Producers in the 1998 Hardcore Heaven Awards. They were massive and everywhere. When I say everywhere, they were the first ever hardcore DJs to do a guest mix on Pete Tong's Essential Mix on BBC Radio 1. Over the course of 2 years, they pumped out around 30 releases from their label UK Dance, before Styles disbanded with Force in 1998. Darren released solo tracks under his own name and the alias Unique in the early 2000s, and focused on a more trance-influenced sound with Mark Brady as Styles and Breeze. The duo spent over a decade dropping hit after hit on the Raver Baby, All Around the World and Nucleus labels, and had top 20 UK chart smashes with Heartbeats and what is probably one of my favourite happy hardcore tunes of all time, You're Shiny. Styles and Breeze in 2005 joined forces with the happy hardcore legend that is Ian Hicks, also known as DJ Hicksy, to create the compilation series Clubland Extreme Hardcore, an offshoot of the Clubland brand created by UK dance label All Around the World along with Universal Music TV. The series ran for 8 years and had 9 releases, with the first 2 getting the top spot in the UK compilations chart. The other 7 were received in a pretty varied way, being between 3 and 19 as their highest chart positions. It also seemed like the late 2000s slowed down a little bit for Darren, but when you look at the achievements of this guy from here in the UK, who pretty much dedicated more than a decade of his life to the happy hardcore scene, you could understand a guy wanted to slow down a bit. In his personal life, we know he's married and he has at least 2 daughters. Wonder if we'll get a new generation of Styles in a few years to come. So was that it? Did Darren Styles just put everything down in 2010 and do the whole Family Guy thing? No, he didn't. You didn't think I was just going to end the video there, did you? With half of you screaming, "Oi, where's the rest of it at?" You see, Darren's a very smart businessman, as well as a very talented DJ and music producer and label boss. He always has a vision, and one of his biggest strengths has to be his ability to listen and adapt. I read a few articles while preparing for this video trying to get a gauge on what Darren Styles' influences were. What I did find is that he does like Coldplay, he does like DJ Slipmatt, he likes Prodigy, oh, and he likes 80s synth pop. Nothing quite like it, or so I'm told. Over the last 6 years or so, Darren Styles has evolved to become somewhat of a household name again in the hard dance scene. Now partnered with Norwegian hardstyle act The Tweakers to create the record label Electric Fox. And for context of how well that little venture's going, they boast that every track they release on that label hits the #1 spot on Beatport. That's a collaboration that's doing things 100% right in their community. He was the first hardcore DJ to play the world-renowned EDC Las Vegas Festival in 2013 and has been on the Basscon stage every year after. Debut sets at Tomorrowland, Perucaville, Defcon 1 and Creamfields festivals, and sellout shows at venues like the Exchange and Academy in LA, not to mention the 20,000 sellout Knockout Circus in Sydney. The Tweakers weren't the only duo to be part of a Darren Styles collaboration, and his track Long Way Down with W&W landed him in front of an entirely new audience, increasing his fan base massively and giving him a new platform to showcase his musical talent on. At the time of recording this, he's getting over 2 million monthly plays on Spotify, so his fan base is definitely out there and definitely still loving his music. Not bad for a guy who started very young, bought his first 7-inch vinyl at 7 years old, first rave in March of 1992, listening to The Prodigy and Urban Shakedown. His production life started with a Korg M1, an Akai S1000 sampler and an Atari STE. I love that one. I found that little nugget on a Reddit post, and as a former Atari user myself, I did chuckle that he'd done the Atari guy thing of saying STE and not just Atari ST. Okay, look, if you didn't get that one, I'm sorry. I can be a bit of a nerd about that stuff sometimes. Retro computing was my thing, and according to the man himself on that very same Reddit post, hardcore is where Darren's heart is. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. Down in the description you'll see a link. It's for a mixtape that I recorded, and if you listen really carefully while watching this, you might have heard some of it in the video. Just please, don't tell the YouTube police. I don't want them coming to get me this early on. If you'd like to listen to my Darren Styles mixtape, head over to Mixcloud now, links in the description. I'm going to look for the next artist to research about. Let me know in the comments who you think we should do next. See you next time.